ordered what?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. Today, I've got a great episode for you. You're going to love it. It's just me making pina coladas. It's world or national or something, somewhere Pina Colada Day today. And given the fact that every other time there was a day, right? Whether it was like, I don't know, I think there was Paloma Day. I didn't even have the ingredients for Paloma. And I didn't see Paloma Day coming. I'm not going to lie, I didn't really see Pina Colada Day coming, and I should know. I like pina coladas. But it's Pina Colada Day today, so we're making pina coladas. Now, obviously, I've made pina coladas before on the show. I've made fino coladas. A lot of coladas have happened. So I thought I'll make it interesting, all right? If I'm going to do a recipe for a drink, I'm going to do a recipe with 3 different base spirits. So today, I'm going to use Havana Club Añejo Blanco. Right? Look, honestly, I would use Don Q, but I don't have the Don Q Blanco. Like, I've only got the Añejo and the spice stuff, so, and the 151. So I can't really roll into the Don Q. I could do it again at another time. If you've got rums that you want to see challenge each other in a pina colada, and I'll try to do it when people can sit here and taste it, I'll do that. Right? I've always wanted to know. I've never made one, but I've always wanted to know. And then the classic Bacardi. Now, if you're going to make this at home, you're going to need rum, pineapple. And when I say pineapple, like, you could use pineapple juice, but it's way better to get a nice, juicy, fresh pineapple. And I discovered after the last time I used one of these pineapples on the show, they look a bit skanky, but they taste great and they smell really nice, that they're actually sourced from a company from Dundalk, Ireland, where I was born. Like, they're from my hometown. Why are people in Dundalk, Ireland sourcing the best pineapples? I don't get it. It's got me a little bit, like, thrown. Optional lime, right? Optional lime. Optional Angostura bitters. If you're like me, I like a dash of bitters. It's not the classic recipe. And then optional salt. Now, bear in mind, I don't know why, but for some reason, salt and pineapples go together. So if you know anything about the history of pineapples, pineapples originally come from, like, Brazil or the Amazon jungle, around that area, and had been cultivated for 500 or 600 years at least before any Western person turned up and claimed to have discovered them, like Christopher Columbus being that person, right? He's just full of shit. Anyway, when white people turned up, the way the natives or the Tupi-Guarani tribe were eating pineapple is they would, like, leave it in salted water. So, and then they'd eat it, right? So salt and pineapple, old school, goes way back. But salt and cocktails just works. Now, the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to chop these up and I'm going to measure them. Now, I am using a set of Heston Blumenthal scales. I've got a set for inside the house and a set for the cabin, right? The cabin ones weren't working. You might have noticed I'm a little bit late getting started. Cabin ones weren't necessarily working, so I thought to myself, I'll hold off and I'll run in and get the ones from inside the house. So we'll get one of these working. Now, I called Mitch. I didn't call Mitch, actually. Today, the episode is obviously starting early because I need to kind of shift away the way I'm doing the show. I called Mitch or sent him a message for his Mitch's Minute, and I was like halfway through a conversation with him and then forgot to actually give him the question. But I had said, do you have the ingredients for pina colada? He said yes, and that's where the conversation ended. So, Mitch's Minutes, without any further ado, today. Oh, look, I think I've broken my stream deck. It's all cracked. Whatever. Mitch's Minute, check this out. This is Mitch making a pina colada. When he's finished, I'm going to have the pineapple all measured out and the ice all measured out and everything, and I'll run you through my recipe.
Yo, so Dean sends me a message, I don't know, about 6 hours ago, and he goes, hey man, the show's going to be 4 or 5 hours earlier today. And I'm like, that's like fucking 5 in the morning my time. And I'll just sleep through it. You know, I sleep through the 9 o'clock one sometimes. And he's like, and have you got everything to make a pina colada? And I was like, yeah, I think, yeah, sure, why? And then I haven't heard anything else from him. So I figured he's probably going to send me a message to say, make a fucking pina colada. So I'm just going to do it now at nighttime so you guys can see that I don't just wear a dressing gown all the time, and I can make a pina colada. So I grabbed some stuff. So Penny Pound, who are the ice outfit over here, they're really good people. They do an ice kit that's got like 4 pre-made cocktails and I think it's 16 pieces of ice and a kilo of pebbled ice. So they've got some pina colada. So there's my pina colada, and we're just going to take this one out, and I'll pop that in the old fucking NutriBullet. And that's how I'm going to make my pina colada. But I'm going to bang some rum in there, and we'll get it done up. So I wondered why Dean had asked me if I could make a pina colada, and I honestly, it's you know, I make skinny margaritas for fucking cunts, so I hadn't made a pina colada in a long time, so I wanted to like check the spec, and I discovered that it's International Pina Colada Day, whatever the fuck that means. So I figured it was time to break out some of the good shit. So I'm doing a double as well because I got my mate here with me. So you go 60 mils of Carne Brava, which I probably shouldn't use because they don't make it anymore, but it's delicious. And then for a bit of dankness, I'm gonna use 30 mils of Archie Rose Virgin Cane Spirit at 50 ABV, which should have plays a bit like Agricole. Some of this Barbadian Foursquare, which comes off the weirdest looking still I've ever seen in my life. It's like a fucking Frankenstein. And that puppy is gonna give it some depth. And then we'll just screw this sucker on and give it a little whiz. I don't think you're supposed to shake these things, but I don't really care. Yeah, that'll do. Everything came out of there. Done. What's more obnoxious than a pina colada? Fucking mason jar. But it's got a couple of nice pieces of ice in it. It's chilled because I'm not a heathen. These also came from Penny Pound. They come in the same kit. It's wonderful. It's about 75 bucks. And they donate $15 of that to charity. Currently, they're giving all that money to Black Lives Matter, which I think is pretty awesome. My wash line's fucking sensational. So, you know, obviously we won't need those in my own house. Get a fucking straw in it. Hunk of flour. Yeah, there we go. Fucking pina colada. Fuck, it's pretty good too. And side of Ocho. Cheers, Dean.
Did anyone else notice that Mitch is particularly more like bright later in the day than he is early in the morning? I think Karen, his wife, had been saying to him like, Mitch, you got to dress up for the show, man. Like you always look haggard. And he's like, well, it's first thing in the morning. It's kind of part of the show, right? But I'll tell you what, getting him to make a video later in the day, Mitch was looking sharp. Also, did anyone else notice that he said, I'm making a double size because I'm making 2, like one for my friend. And then he did not make one for his friend. That's kind of funny. He's probably going to smash that one, make another one. Right, 3.5. Ooh. It's funny that he's like actually weighing the pieces of pineapple, right? Because by sight, those pieces looked all the same. But when you actually go and weigh them, it's a different story. So what I've done here, I've got my 4.5 ounces by weight of fresh, ripe, juicy pineapple. I usually put about 3.5 ounces by weight of like super cold dry ice. So that is 4. Crap. Now, get the next size down. Yes. This is what's great about this London Ice Studio ice. because they're like precision cut before they even arrive, like I know I can do that. And when I dump it upside down, the ice is going to be the thing at the bottom. All the juices and everything's going to run over it. They're probably going to freeze onto it. But when that blade starts running, it warms everything up and it's just going to liquefy it. So I like just a little tiny twisty twist of lime. So I'm going to squeeze one lime across the top of all of these. Right. Actually, bring this back. Build the drink properly. Get rid of that. Now, I've always liked Pina Coladas. I'm not going to go too far into the history of Pina Colada. Apparently, they were created at the Caribe Hilton Hotel, but this is disputed. And when like people that I love and respect that are, you know, industry heavyweights, know their stuff, have been researching things quite heavily, argue on something like who was the first, just going to stay out of it. Unless I met the person that was the first. Like in 20 years, if someone was arguing that, hey, Ben Tua, how you doing, big man? This is awesome. It's a new time. You can tune in. If people are going to argue, I'm just going to stay out of it, right? I'm just going to make a recipe that by today's standard tastes nice. If I give it to a guest, I would assume that they would like it. If they don't like it, then, you know, in this recipe in particular, I'm quite happy with. If they don't like it, there's a problem, right? And it's not with me. It's with them. You know, if they don't like my drinks, they can leave. Get out of my bar. Right. 2 dashes of bitters in each one. And now, Diogo, because you said agricole rum, like I don't necessarily have a great agricole rum here, but I want to do the Havana Club Bacardi thing, right? Now, I am willing to forego the Plantation pineapple one to see what happens when we get like some signature funky sort of flavors in. So this guy, this is a blended rum. It's got both Jamaica and Martinique, so it's got some of that rum agricole flavor. And then I've got Copali, which is a white rum from Belize. And this is made from 100% cane. So I'm going to do 50-50 of those. For you, instead of my Plantation pineapple, we can pick up the Plantation pineapple Piña Colada next week. I've got Alexander Gabriel on the show, so I guess I can make a Plantation pineapple Piña Colada as an instructional video for that show, if you like. And I might just play with it and tweak it, get it just right. Right, so watch what I'm doing here. 2 ounces in each of these, right? And then I'm gonna turn the blender over real quickly. So the final bit is my 2 ounces. Ooh, almost final bit. 2 ounces of Bacardi in the first one. I'm starting with the lightest flavor. This has got a bit more of the oiliness that you would expect from a rum industrial or Spanish style rum, whichever way you want to call it. Molasses-based rum. Ooh, that was close. Right, now, I'm going to go 50-50 of these two. So 50-50 of the Belize and 50-50 of the Boutique Rum Company. This stuff is delicious. And it's also 42%, slightly higher proof, which would give it a little bit more of a kick. But you've got that high ester white rum flavor coming through. Now, just so I don't forget, Bacardi was first. This guy was second. And let's just put this guy, you'll put them both, these two there, right? Now, hot trick. That when I made the Piña Colada last week, look how neatly my ice is stacked. Check that out. See this? Look at this. I got all my different sizes all organized. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Have to say so myself. And look, that one looks by far the sexiest. Doesn't that look good for ice stacking? I thought it was good. I thought that was worth like the 10 minutes it took me. Now at the back, in the interest of not having my, what's it called? Coco Lopez go off completely. I've stuck them in these little cooler boxes, pre-measured, right? So it's 3/4 of an ounce in each one. Already measured out. So I know exactly one portion. In the freezer, because they're so sticky, they don't seem to freeze into a hard cube. I don't know why, but they won't go off. It'll stay nice and fresh. You won't get any fermentation at -20. And there's that. Right, this guy goes back. And I want to show you something. God, left that too long. I want to show you something, right? While these are blending, in the interest of you not just listening to the crap, I'm going to play an advertisement for a bartender, a global bartender agency, talent agency, headed up by a man called Dan Dove. I seen this be launched today. He's only just announced it. And the talent on there is spectacular. I think it's a great idea. I'll discuss it after I've blended up these drinks. All right, still going on the old blender. Now, I realize I don't have 3 of the same glasses that will fit these, so I'm just going to wing it. And we'll start with the Bacardi one. All right. Now, any excess, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to ditch because it's halfway through the day and I have a date with the pub this afternoon. Yes, that's right, folks. Dino is going to the pub for the first time in 4 months. Well, second time. Like, I think the first time I was only with Axel, and Axel doesn't drink. I just needed that pint of Guinness. But you know, if you go to the pub without your best friend, you're not really doing it right. So tonight, Electra, my wife, who's my best adult friend, is coming with me. So it's pub night tonight. I'm excited. Which is another reason the earlier version of the show works. Right. So if I can find this little cappy bob. I have to say, I have run this blender through its paces over the last, say, 4 years. And I think I'm really impressed. It's a really solid blender. And it's not even a professional quality blender. It's a consumer blender. It's one of this like Breville Sage series, but solid, really good. It does an absolutely banging job. Now, a little bit of that frozen Coco Lopez stuck to the inside of that. Oh, the agricoli tasting one smells delicious. And liquefied. Now, it's really funny because considering my training would have told me to put crushed ice in with a blended drink, those big squares worked really, really well. And that blender has no problem chewing them to pieces and spitting them back out. Right, now, this is your Boutique job. Ooh. That's a slightly bigger wine glass. Would have been cool if I grabbed 3 of those, wouldn't it? I would look like a professional or something. Now, I'm not going to do what Mitch did and put loads of fancy stuff on the top. The key thing here is the recipe, right? You're making a pina colada. Use the rum you already like, right? That really helps. So start with a good rum and add, in my opinion, a pinch of salt, a couple of dashes of bitters, a tiny squeeze of lime, right? And then you've got the floral, the acid of the lime, which will fight the cocoa. Lopez, which is obviously really sweet. And if you've got the right pineapple, you're going to have really sweet pineapple as well. You want 4.5 ounces by weight of pineapple and 3.5 ounces by weight of dry ice. So when I say dry ice, I mean straight out of the freezer, sticks to your hands. Put them all in, bzz, done, right? Now, Bacardi. It's good. I feel like I'm getting a lot of lime and I'm getting a lot of like floral notes. It's kind of citrusy, which is weird. I always remember Bacardi to have like a peachy sort of flavor, like a creamy, almost vanillas to it. All right, you can definitely, so you can taste the rum a lot more with this one. I'm getting that rum backbone. Electra, you're watching, right? So this immediately makes me think of Cuba. Like for those that don't already know, like you can't always get this in the UK. So this is actually a bottle that we brought back from Cuba. Like honestly, I'm just, all I can think of now is the hotel we stayed in, sitting by the pool. I spent a couple of weeks in Cuba just getting a tan. I have to say, I really love the way I look with a tan. I want a tan again. Oof. I think I'd have to adjust the recipe for this guy. Add a bit more rum. Maybe take away a bit of the lime, you know, because the Bacardi seems to accelerate the lime flavor a little bit more. I'm getting more pineapple on that one as well. Alrighty. Diogo, this better be good, buddy. I use the blocks because it's consistent volume. I can throw one block in, and B, I can put it in. It's super cold, and as you can see, like I already know how much is in that block, right? It's exactly like once I've got one block and I know exactly how big it is, I know exactly how much it's going to end up. But for some reason, I'm getting perfect, silky, smooth ice. It's not even separating. Like if I'd put crushed ice in that blender, it would have started to melt and been separated. I think the slow integration of the ice as the ice is chipped away by the blender into the now completely liquefied liquid makes it work better. If you stand at the bar at Floridita, they're putting the ingredients in, they start the blender and they've got a liquid already. And then they're just adding bits of crushed ice onto the top, right? Until they get that perfect vortex blend. I think by putting a big chunk in and it's bouncing at first, the ingredients blend and then it slowly integrates in and you got this cold, like there's no chunks in it liquid. I mean, I did it because I was lazy to begin with, but it works. So like, why not? Ooh. If I was selling this at a bar, I'd go this guy because cost and you can taste the rum in the background. It tastes like rum and pina colada, like rum, lime, coconut, pineapple, right? That guy though, if I was making it for a bartender comes in or someone who's a rum aficionado, I'd go this one. And if I was working in like a pool bar at a resort and people just wanted to like smash them all day, this guy, right? They're all delicious. They all taste great, but it's actually amazing how much of a difference you can taste that oily. rum industrial sort of flavor in the back of this, where you can't taste that there. You get like fresh pineapple and lime. The rum's in the back a little bit more. That is rum, like ester rum. Right. So the blender I'm using is a Sage. Ben, I'll send you a message, bro. It's a Sage one that's got like loads of different programs on it, and it works really well. But the key to this one is they've designed it so that the bottom of it goes like this, and it's got some blender blades that go down like that, and then some that come up like this. And the way they're situated, they're offset, so that when it blends, it sucks the liquid down to the bottom. It hits the bottom and it forces it back up, as opposed to just straight up spinning it. So it just chomps through things. It's actually really good. I swear by that thing. And it's got loads of, it's got mix, it's got chop, it's got blend, puree, liquefy. You can tell it's got, you want to crush ice and it'll pulse and break the ice up. It's quite good. It's a good blender. Couple hundred pounds though. But you're based in Perth, Australia, so that's where Breville's from. So you should probably get it for cheaper. We get Thermomix and Vitamix, but I'm not spending that kind of money. All my stuff is consumer. All right, cool. You're not getting paid for the ad, Ben. Dude, serious. Wow, this is great having you on. Look, my interaction levels are going to go up or something. Bitter is totally optional. Like, bitters is just me. By adding bitters, if you've never really bartended before, if you think of bitters as salt and pepper, right? So if sugar was your salt, normally you would think that lime would be your pepper, or maybe think of it as oil and vinegar. Like, bitters is your vinegar, right? If you add a tiny bit, it works. Wait, actually, shit. How would you describe that to someone that doesn't? I guess sugar would be your salt. Bitters would be your pepper, really. Like, citrus would be your vinegar. And cream would be your oil? I don't know. It's interesting to think like that, because you can't correlate it directly to cooking. Right, so I think that's all the things I had lined up for you guys. I hadn't really thought. Should I do one more? Should I see what the Plantation pineapple one actually tastes like? Fuck it. I'm not going to drink all these because I've got to drive in 2.5 hours. I think. I might not have to drive, but just in case I do. Right. I'm doing one. Right, to go through that whole process again, and I know I'd already pre-cut this, I use a set of scales to get it exactly right. Now, in a bar, I don't expect you to be putting things on the scales like this. Obviously, in a bar environment, actually, I can just tear that guy. In a bar environment, I would pre-prep this, and it would already be in the freezer or, in the fridge, which depending on how many Piña Coladas you actually sell. Preferably, I'd say put it in the freezer, because if it's in the freezer, it's not going off. The last time I worked in an actual bar that turned around quite a volume of Piña Coladas, it was a tiki bar called Canaloa, and we would core pineapples, take the core out, put the pineapple in the freezer in 2 pieces. The top of the pineapple, pineapple cores are really cheap. Top of the pineapple get cut off. We'd core out the inside of the pineapple and then chop the leaves off one side a little bit so it's kind of flat like this. Actually, like from there, just chopping away like that. So you're exposing the side, and then the top would be put inside the cored pineapple, and the pieces would be separated into their portions and put into the freezer alongside it. So when you went to make a Piña Colada, you pull out the base, you pull out the bits of pineapple, you put in your Coca Lopez, put in your liquid ingredients, turn the blender on, then you prep the top. Blender comes back, that gets poured in, top goes on, bit of a garnish, and out it goes. Works. Makes it really nice and easy. And your pineapple doesn't go off because it's already frozen. You don't need big block ice because, you've got your freezer in here. Now, I'm going to put 60 ml, sticking to the exact same portions, or 2 ounces if you're in America. I'm sticking fancy pineapple rum. A couple of dashes of bitters. Where's my big dasher? Right. I love pineapple rum, so I'm probably going to like this one the best. No offense to anybody else, but big pineapple rum fan. Now, one of these guys, which I already know is the right weight, 3.5 ounces of ice on the blender, smoothie. Now, what? Liquefy. Now, if you can hear me over the blender, I wanted to like go back to my old school style of like trying something new. Oh, actually, yeah, what happened to this? I had another video I was going to show you, but it's not loading in, which is a shame. It's actually like a legit shame that it's not loading in, but whatever. Right, so this guy, I can put him in a different glass. It's not gonna hold it all. In fact, actually, let's put it in a glass that will hold it all. I got 2.5 hours. I can drink at least half of this. Just look like we're kind of have an idea what we're doing here. Now, if you're making pina coladas this way, using a blender doesn't mean that it should be frozen solid like a slushy machine. It just means that you're integrating every single thing in and you're getting aeration that you wouldn't otherwise get. Oh, God, that looks good. It's really interesting. It's, not gonna lie, I like that one the best. But it's sweeter. It's considerably sweeter. Is it because I didn't put the salt in? Should it be more salty? Talk about optional salt and lime. Well, I kind of wanted this to just be all pineapple forward. That lime was really aromatic, so it made, I thought it was the lime that was making the other ones seem so limey. It's tasty. It's really tasty. This is like your guests want to try something kind of cool and fancy, and they want, like, there's nothing that you can't make that with anything else. That would have to be this stuff. But it's super tasty. I always wanted to do that. Anyway, happy World Pineapple Day, and in the interest of going back to one of the things that I used to like to do when I first started the show, I'm going to try for you a rum that I haven't yet tried, and I'm gonna show you a gadget that I thought I would use today. I don't know if I've already shown you, but shit. Right, so you can hear us over the blender. Can't even hear the blender. Wow, that's pretty cool. I dialed in this mic pretty well then. So I like the idea of measuring things accurately, right? And everyone knows jiggers don't always measure things accurately. The best way to get an accurate measurement is by weight. Now this guy is a spoon with like a digital scales built into it. So you hold it on, right? Once it's on, you can tear it and you've got a 0 mark, right? And then if you're to pour something like, right, that's 16, 17 mil, because, you know, 1 mil weighs 1 gram. So if this thing can measure to 1 gram, and it still says 17, right? But like, I take issue with it because if I fill up my 2-ounce jigger, right? Like, that's 2 ounces. Well, it's under, but I fill this up and it says 134, right? Like 100, it's 60 mil. It can't be that much more than 60 mil. It says 129 now. So if you were thinking you were going to revolutionize bartending by getting a tool that has a scale built into the jigger, it's not this guy, okay? Don't buy it. Not worth it. And on the tasting new stuff I never tasted before, this, my friends, since we're making rum drinks, is Duppy's Share. Duppy's Share is made from a blend of a couple of rums from distilleries that are very reputable. And I happened to meet the guy who owns the rum. He's a lovely guy. It's important in you know, I guess your older years, as you get older in this industry. Now, bear in mind, the older you are, the longer you've been in the industry, the more people you will have met. So it doesn't really matter which company we're talking about. There's good people working for all of the alcohol companies in the world. Like, even if there's bad people working for those alcohol companies, they work alongside some good people, you know? So you're always supporting a friend, really. You know, I know a lot of people that are paid by Bacardi, that work for Bacardi full time. So effectively, when I look at a bottle of Bacardi, I'm not seeing Don Facundo, I'm seeing my friends that work for Bacardi. But Duppy's Share is brand new. I didn't hear much about it before. I met the owner of it, and he seemed to be a super sweet guy. Hung out with him, played some poker. He was cool, and very down to earth. And he made this, right? He printed a label on his printer in his office that says the Dean Share, right? So I'm Dean, and I'm sharing that with you. I thought that was really cool. It's a simple way of kind of growing some advocacy. I like it. I thought I'd close out the show by tasting it for the first time. On the show, you'll have seen, if you watched the show for a while, I've tasted the Duppy's Spiced. So this is their normal Duppy's Share Spiced. It's not like, you know, they didn't put a label on there for me. Delicious, really good stuff. But this is their normal rum. Probably should have used it in a Pina Colada, to be fair, but I wanted to stick to kind of the rums that you would expect to use in a Pina Colada. Those white rums, let the floral notes of the lime and the pineapple kick up. Oh, tasty. It's got like, it tastes like legit rum. He's not making candy water. It's really good. It's got a bit of a kick at the front of the mouth. A bit of almost, it's not like acid, it's like not acetone, but like a bit of aggression, fire just at the sides that makes your mouth water. But it's got like a flavor of like a little bit of that kind of funk that you'd expect from a Dunder Pit sort of Jamaican style rum. With a kind of bitter front palate at the end. Nice long finish. It's good stuff. Good work, guys. Anyway, Benjamin says, give me a shout out for Insta. Say I'm a Darty. I don't know what that means, but maybe I'm too old for this game, even though he's older than me. Who, like, is that his kids teaching him this shit? Anyway, it's been fun, guys. Happy weekend. It's Friday. Remember, go out, have some fun, drink some pina coladas, and I'll see you Monday. Ciao.